happy for Mainland High School. Congratulations, and I'm happy for you guys. And I'm finally over the Florida Classic. It took me a while, but going in there, I was optimistic, foolishly. But
right.
But I'm ready. I'm waiting for next year now.
Yeah, definitely waiting for next year, and there's some great things that's transpiring here in Daytona, not just on Mainland's campus, but over on Bethune-Cookman's campus in regards to the football program and other programs there. What have you been up to, Ralph?
Oh, nothing. I was in Virginia for Thanksgiving. Had a good time with my granddaughter and my daughter, and just did a lot of relaxing, and really haven't been doing much of anything. Tried to do some fishing.
Yeah, I was going to ask how you been doing any fishing?
The water. I went fishing Wednesday, and the water is extremely high.
Really?
Very unproductive, but I'm going. I can't wait to get back there again.
I know you can't wait to get back in there. Can't wait to get back out there and cast that water in the line in the water, rather.
Yeah.
So how about that? How
Yep.
about that? Well, Ralph, we've been, as we said, we've been away for a while, but we want to talk a little bit about our SWAC recap and final standings and rankings and all that above. We'll cover that here now and then get to the meat and potatoes of this thing. So, fans, glad to have you here. Go ahead and share the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show, whether you're watching or listening, whether you're watching on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. We're glad to have you here. Happy holidays, and let's get to it. So, final SWAC standings. In the East, and overall SWAC champions, congratulations to the Rattlers on winning the SWAC championship. Finishing 8-0 in the conference, the FAMU Rattlers, 11-1 on, I'll say the season so far. They still have the Celebration Bowl to go. Jackson State finishes 5-3 in the conference, 7-4 overall. Alabama State finishes 5-3 in the conference, 7-4 overall. Alabama A&M finishes 3-5 in conference, 5-6 overall. Our mighty Wildcats finished 2-6 in the conference, 3-8 overall. Mississippi Valley State finishes 1-7 in the East. Overall, they're 1-10. In the West Side, Alcorn State finishes 6-2 in the conference, 7-4 overall. Prairie View 6-2 conference, 6-6 overall. Southern finishes 5-3. 6-5 overall. Grambling State finishes 4-4 overall. They're 5-6. Texas Southern finishes 2-6 in conference, 3-8 overall. And Arkansas Pine Bluff rounds out the West, 1-7, 2-9 overall. Let's move to our power rankings. FAMU 21 in FCS computer rankings, and these are still changing because we still have the FCS playoffs. FAMU still has one game. 21 current ranking. They're 23 previously. Jackson State 65. They were previously 65. Alabama State 69. They were previously 67. Prairie View A&M 73. They were previously 70. Alcorn State 74. They were previously 73. Southern University 89. Previously 87. Grambling State 91. They were previously 91. Alabama A&M 99. They were previously 102. Texas Southern 109. Previously 109. Our Wildcats 111. Previously 112. Arkansas Pine Bluff 123. They were previously 123. And Mississippi Valley State 127. They were previously 127. Now, before we get to Wildcat, before we come home, Ralph, there's been a couple changes in the SWAC, and we'll just cover that a little bit. A couple changes in the SWAC. You care to talk about that? Any surprises with coaching changes, things of that nature?
No, I think it's extremely interesting. I was somewhat surprised that the guy from Texas Southern was let go.
They held on for a long time before they made that.
I mean, they even denied it initially.
Right.
Which, again, that reminded me of another school that I'm very familiar with. I was extremely surprised that the coach at Southern was let go. The coach at Grambling was let go. And of course, I mean, what these schools are saying, you either win now, you got to get out of here.
Right. I mean, that's what it's about. I mean, but, man, I don't know. It goes back to what we've all talked about. You know, there's so many nuances of winning. It's not just lining up anymore. It's who you got lining up for you and things of that nature. And, you know, if those resources aren't there, you're...
See, I think that's what we overlook so often, though.
Yeah,
resources.
Yeah,
and
resources.
And I don't know. Do the normal fan know what we mean by resources? But resources can encompass a large area of support, and that is administration support, giving sufficient funds at the right time. It's just a lot of things that, for some reason, at the HBCU, we don't do a very good job of.
No, it's not. And, you know, we've constantly, off air, we've constantly had these talks like, hey, you know, what's the difference? And we've even been approached, and I think we covered it earlier this year. We've been approached by people like, what's the difference between these universities? And, you know, last weekend, I'll say Sunday, showed a lot of people that, you know, there's a difference. And it truly, I already knew it, but it really hit home to me being a Seminole that, hey, you know, there's some funny business, but in all of this, at the end of the day, what is that funny business? And, you know, we all know it's green.
Yeah,
it's whether you want to accept it or not,
It's not only money, though, but it's also the proper use of the money that you got.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And you said it earlier, a few minutes ago, the timing of it.
The timing of the,
Yeah.
I mean.
The funds,
And I don't know. It's just, I see these schools are letting these guys go.
Right.
But they're not accepting responsibility for the failure either.
No, and you have to.
I mean,
that's the job of an athletic director
of
and
course.
everyone surrounding that. You know, the whole.
Because for every successful program, man, it's a support system built into that's making sure that everything is there at the time it needs to be there and the right support. But I think a lot of the HBCUs don't get it. I mean, that's what I think.
They don't get it. And now, while we're harking on, you know, the administrations and things of that nature, it goes outside of that. It goes to, you know, fan support. You know, it's all the above. It's all the above. I mean, while we're talking about it, if you go and look, like, I mean, do you see how many fans, not just Florida State fans, but Georgia fans, hey, boycott the Orange Bowl, you know, all the way up to the state of Florida, like, hey, we're going to put this allotment of money to the side to go sue because, you know.
But if you think about it, though, football is a revenue generated operation. It brings in a lot of money.
It does.
And a lot of people getting paid off of that.
Yes, they are.
You know. Unfortunately, the players aren't, but everybody outside of the players are getting paid. I mean, you're talking about millions of dollars.
Yes.
I mean, you putting 80,000 people in the stands 6 times a year at $60-$65 a shot.
Sometimes $100, and that's regular. That we're not talking about like. What's our basic season ticket package? I think after they add their fees in, it might come up to $120 or something dollars.
Yeah.
That's per game, per ticket.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of those places.
And you notice they always come.
Yeah.
I mean, cost is no. I mean, you need the support of the administration, but you also need the support of the fans.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, the fans is what make it happen.
That's definitely who makes it happen. It's just like the same thing where, like when we went to Nebraska a few years ago, Nebraska wasn't the best of teams, but they had consecutive sellouts of their stadium. And,
but they had about 30 years of sellouts.
Yeah. And the lowest ticket was $100-something. We were blessed to get them lower than that, but still,
But again, I was listening to the lady at Florida A&M who's the athletic director, and if you look at what they did in terms of scheduling,
right,
and she said she wanted more games at Bragg Stadium, and if you notice they scheduled 3 Division II schools.
Yes.
At Bragg Stadium.
Right, at Bragg Stadium.
Yeah. So I think in total they had, 7 or 8 games?
Yeah. And what does that mean? We might say, okay, well, they scared, not to take anything away from those visiting teams, but they schedule nobody. But it's still
generating what?
Revenue. Yeah, it's still generating revenue, and you can't hide from that any kind of way. Yeah, you can't hide from that.
Yeah, I mean, they had 7 or 8 games at Bragg Stadium.
Right.
Which is
it's phenomenal.
It is.
It's phenomenal. So. And we'll cover more of that lately, a little later in the show. Thank everyone again for tuning in. Go ahead and share the Gridiron Show, the live stream to your fans and family. Let's talk about some SWAC honors that were picked up here in Daytona Beach. Defensive back, of course, Uno Island. Shout out to Amari Hill Robinson and the long snapper Clayton Thomas Jr., respectively, were named first team and second team all SWAC. They were postseason honorees. Amari Hill Robinson. I mean, it goes without saying.
Well, he had a good year.
Right. Right.
But I think I applaud him being first team. But I think they sort of missed on a couple of our guys too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. For sure.
I'm not gonna get
into the.
But I think they missed on a couple of our guys that I think was well deserving.
Definitely so.
Yeah,
definitely so. It was.
So I understand how the Seminoles feel, but our guys should feel the same way. I think their effort all season was overlooked.
Right.
I think just like the Seminoles, I think. Regardless, they went 13-0.
Right.
Regardless.
And,
it's got to mean something.
It's got to mean something.
And our guys, we was understaffed most of the year, but they hung in there.
They fought to the end.
They fought to the end. They never, ever gave up.
No.
Our guys never gave up. And that's compliments to the coaching staff.
It very much is.
Yeah. Our guys, they struggled and they fought and clawed all game long, every game. And we came up short several times, but it didn't stop. They hustle and they fight.
It gives you a lot to look forward to, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Right. That it's compared to years past, and this is not to knock anybody. There's something in the air that leaves you. Hey, there's something to definitely look forward to. What are we doing on the recruiting side? Things of that nature. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to go over the stats and things of that nature. And that's going to be, it's commendable. It's definitely commendable. But shout out to the Amari Hill Robinson and Clayton Thomas Jr. on garnering those honors. Ralph, our last show was prior to the 2023 Florida Classic. So we'll go right into the 2023 Florida Classic at this time and do a little recap of that contest. Straight off, Ralph, well,
okay, so that game wasn't any different than most of the games we played all year, though. And what I mean by that, we went in that game shorthanded.
We were in the game shorthanded.
We was at a default for the game ever started.
What do you mean by that, Ralph?
Well, okay, so we were without our first, second, and third string quarterback for most of the year.
Right.
Most of the year. We went into that game with one healthy quarterback.
Correct.
You know, so now we're shorthanded. We went in shorthanded. We played all year shorthanded at quarterback, and that's no excuse. And I got something to say about that later on, and it goes back to the money games.
Right.
Yeah, I was always a proponent of the money games.
Well, I think it goes past. I think it goes even before there. I think it goes before stepping on the field because, you know, we were a little light.
Yeah, and and see, I know most of the fans know that Coach was hired late. After all the recruiting was gone, then they hired Coach.
Right.
So now he got to go around and scrap up players
and coaches.
And coaches.
And that's not
not
knock anybody.
Well,
but,
no.
Yeah, it's just.
And we ended up with some really good coaches.
We did.
But we got them late, along with most of our players. We got late.
Right.
You know, we was at a disadvantage before we ever started.
What Florida Classic? We lose that game 24-7 back in November. As you said, we come into that game, you know, you're hearing the noise because, you know, these guys are, you know, 2 weeks from playing in the SWAC championship game. You know, they had already, you know, locked their spot in the SWAC championship game. Here's lowly Bethune. Oh, so you think because you beat Alabama A&M that you're going to come in and just, you know, you're going to do whatever you want to us. You know, and in all actuality, the score doesn't indicate how close that game was.
But think about it, though. Every game we played, was close game. With that, at least 4 or 5 of them we should have actually won.
Right.
And we were shorthanded.
Yes.
We were shorthanded. Our guys fought, and we came up short. But our guys they fought that whole season long shorthanded. I mean, I think when we came out of Miami, what did we lose? 3 linemen and 2 quarterbacks.
Yes.
You had a deficit. You lost 2 quarterbacks, 2 linemen coming out of Miami.
And you still battled down the way.
And you still battled all the way. In fact, we left there and went to Jackson State and should have won that game.
Right.
Should have won Jackson State. But again, I'm not gonna hop on coulda, woulda, shoulda. But I'm just saying, it's a tremendous honor to our football team to fight it as well as they did. And of course, we came up short. But it did stop them from fighting week in and week out.
Week in and week out. And, you know, we go in the Florida Classic. Our defense plays staunch. We forced multiple punts by FAMU.
Yeah.
You know.
We just couldn't generate offense.
No.
Our defense they played spot on.
And however you look at it, you got to generate. Because, like, the name of the game is keeping your defense fresh against somebody who can move the ball, and that's they're going to score. They're going to move the ball.
They're going to go. Yeah. I mean, they was loaded actually.
Yeah,
they were loaded.
Yeah,
and our defense, I thought they played a tremendous game, but again, 3 and outs is going to wear you down.
Oh yeah,
it's going to wear you down. I don't even think we got 100 yards passing in that game. We ran the ball well, though.
So we go into half down 17-0, come back out. We score with 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. And that was...
It took us about 15 plays to do it.
Man, thank God for the stripes, bro.
Yeah, I mean... And it was so overzealous.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of those passes was overthrown, and they were still interfering with the players. But we scored, and now that game is 17-7.
Game 17-7. Yeah. You're still shutting them down, but then it comes to the point where
the defense get tired.
Yeah, and you can't generate anything. And they gave you opportunities.
Yeah,
I mean,
they sure did.
There was opportunity after opportunity.
Because first of all, our defensive line is on the small side, and them big boys laying on them like that. I mean,
right.
They wasn't getting a chance to catch their breath. Yeah. But again, I think we played a great game. I wish we hadn't been shorthanded because I really think we could have gave them a go for their money. But wait till next year.
Definitely wait till next year. And as I said, congratulations to those guys on winning the SWAC championship and going to represent the SWAC in the Celebration Bowl here in a few weeks.
Yep.
Walter Simmons finishes the Florida Classic 9-23 passing for 79 yards, rushed for 10 times for 74 yards, and of course had a touchdown. Jimmy Robinson III named BCU MVP. He had 21 carries for 74 yards in that contest. Shout out to Vino Ellington, caught a pair of passes for 60 yards and led all of our wide receivers. Iverson Clement led our team in tackles with 8 total, 4 solo. Big time Eddie Walls, big time Wildcat, finished with 1.5 tackles for loss in that contest. Anthony Frederic came up big in that effort with his punts and looking for great things out of those guys who are returning on next season. So, Ralph, I don't know if you remember it, but we'll cover statistics for that contest. Total yards, FAMU 325, Bethune-Cookman 234. Passing yards, FAMU 150, Bethune-Cookman 112. Rushing yards, FAMU 175, Bethune-Cookman 122. Penalty yards, FAMU 10 penalties, 65 yards. Bethune-Cookman 7 penalties, 39 yards. First downs, FAMU 17, Bethune-Cookman 17. Third down conversions, 3 for 8 for FAMU, 5 for 5 for Bethune-Cookman.
5 for 15.
I'm sorry, 5 for 15. Fourth downs, no conversions by FAMU, Bethune-Cookman 1 for 1. We said earlier, time of possession would matter in this contest. FAMU, 29 minutes, 28 seconds, 24 points. Bethune-Cookman, 30 minutes, 32 seconds, 7 points. All right. So, fans, if you remember back to, what was that, the 17th of November, 17th, 18th? Mm-hmm. It's grading time. Headsets, players, quarterbacks. Let's go.
Our quarterback?
Yes.
Our quarterback, I'm giving him a C.
We had that other one come in, too. But
what he threw? 1 pass?
He threw 2. And,
yeah. I'm giving the quarterback maybe a C-.
Okay. Let's go running backs.
Running back, I'm going to give him a B. I mean, he rushed for 21. He rushed 21 times for 79 yards?
Right.
Yeah.
Wide receiver / tight end.
Well,
I got a D over here in the comment section. I'm sure that's probably for quarterback.
Somebody gave the quarterback a B?
D.
A D? Wow. And you said the wide receivers? Well, I mean, they didn't get many thrown at them, so I don't know how you can grade them.
Carry right on, Ralph.
Okay, I'll give the wide receivers a C.
Okay. What say you, fans? Comment section. We'll wait for those comments to come in. All right. So let's go. Let's go offensive line.
I'm going to give them a D.
Why D?
A D?
Yeah.
Well, the week before we gained 435 yards rushing.
And I think coming into that game, we kind of said, okay, well, we might possibly be able to get, run up the middle, but it wasn't happening outside, up the middle, nowhere.
Well, I mean, But after you gained 400 and some odd yards against Alabama State, and you gained most of those yards up the middle, so what do you think A&M was going to do? Stack the middle.
Right.
They stacked the middle. They wouldn't let you run up the middle.
And like I said, nor outside either.
Yeah, they weren't going to let you run up and down the field like you did A&M, Alabama. Come on. We had to come up with something different.
So, overall offense.
Well, now, my overall offense, I'm grading the coach and not the players. And I'm giving him a D.
We got wide receiver D, so let's catch it up. But what was over? So headsets.
D minus.
Okay. What say you, fans? It was said wide receivers did not get any separation. I
guess I can agree with that.
Vanilla play.
Yeah, that's why I gave the headset a D.
Yeah. All right, let's go D-line.
I'm going to give my D-line a C because they hung in there for a while.
Right.
And they just got worn down. So, like I said, you get three and outs, you're going to wear them out by the third quarter.
For sure.
But you remember, they scored that touchdown in the fourth quarter.
Right. Late in the fourth quarter. It was,
late.
Takeoff
late.
running.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, linebackers.
I'm going to give them a C.
Okay. And defensive backs.
I'm going to give them a C plus.
Special teams. I'm sorry. Overall defense. Sorry.
I'm going to give the overall defense. I'm going to give them a C. Most of the stuff was out of their control, actually. When you look at the offense, we generated 240 something yards. We did have 17 first downs. Yeah. We had a total of 234 yards.
Special teams, Ralph.
Federic, who had 4 punts inside the 5, I'm going to give him a B. He was awesome. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of those punts he kicked 60 yards.
Right.
And it checked up on the 5.
Right.
Yeah. By the way, I think he was a pleasant surprise.
Oh, very much so.
From the year before to this year was like night and day for him.
And, not to take anything away from, I think Tootin, what's his name? Or
The other punter?
Yeah. But he was our starting punter. He was injured.
Yeah.
In practice.
And
that's why he didn't.
Yeah.
In Memphis.
Because he kicked exceptionally well at Memphis.
Yeah.
He kicked us out of a lot of trouble.
Right.
Yeah. Then he got injured.
Yeah. So, overall team play, Florida Classic.
I'm going to give them a C just for hanging in. I think they was hampered by the headsets, but I'm going to give them a C. In fact, I was sort of in love with the defense anyway. I thought they played with heart, game in and game out.
Right.
So, I was extremely happy with them.
What do you say, fans? What do you? Yeah, defense. Defense gets a B, and I know, I think that's fair. All right, so we have about 6 minutes before our break. I tell you what. Let's position grades for the year. Quick round. Quarterbacks.
I'm gonna have to get quarterbacks. Well, see, it's unfair to even. I mean, because two of them kids was hurt after Miami, and
but just say so. Basically, this is what exit interviews. This is what we're grading as exit interviews. So if you are, let's just say, Coach Woody,
okay,
and you're having to grade those positions from coach on down to player. Okay. You can also throw in what we know was injuries and things of that nature.
Yeah, and due to the injuries to the quarterbacks, I'm going to give the quarterbacks a C. Okay. I'm going to give the headset a D.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm grading like this because I think the headset got to call the plays with the guy he has that he knows that he can execute.
Right.
And I don't think that he did that very well.
How many games would you say he did? Call it well.
2.
Okay.
I would say Savannah State
and Alabama
A&M. And you remember now, you had 2 different quarterbacks in those games.
Right.
You know.
Right.
If we had the quarterback healthy from Savannah State, I think we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Yeah. Running backs,
I did get some joy from the running backs. I thought that they ran with a lot of heart. They ran with a crippled offensive line most of the year.
Right.
But they ran hard. So I'm going to give them a C+.
Wide receivers.
I think we played one of our wide receivers out of position, and that was Dino. Dino had been a slot receiver for 3 years, and then all of a sudden we put him at wide receiver. I think we had, what's the kid name? I think it was number 3.
Oh, Tink Boyd.
Yeah, I thought he was an exceptionally good receiver. And if we had any other quarterback, I think he would have been first team all-conference.
We're going to try to get through. Let's go offensive line.
See, that offensive line, when we got those 3 kids injured, and then we just start putting people in out of position, I mean, you could tell we was out of sight, out of whack. And I think 2 of those kids never did come back, right?
No.
Yeah. I mean, because when we started out, we had a pretty decent offensive line.
Right.
But we got some young kids that are coming back.
We got some help that's coming back that I think will turn out fruitful.
I think so.
Yeah, that will definitely turn out fruitful.
Yeah.
So I'll wait until after our break to go on. Okay, I'm sorry. Whole offense year overall. You want to go to break in there?
Yeah.
I mean,
because I want to be politically correct, but we went into the season thinking our weak side was going to be the defense and our strong side was going to be the offense, and that really didn't play out like that. It was reverse.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah, it was reverse. Because we was pretty sure the defense was going to struggle, but they didn't.
Did not.
They kept us in a lot of games.
They did.
Yeah.
They and it was a joy to see them.
Yeah, really.
It was
really,
definitely a joy.
But and I know we'll get to this after the break. I was going to talk about special teams, but I'll wait till after the break. How much time we got?
We got about 30 seconds.
Okay, we'll wait till after the break. But I'm looking for the offense really to take a go another direction next year, because with the people that we got in place, especially our quarterback that I think is going to be the number one quarterback, we got to come up with an offense really to match his skill set.
Definitely.
Yeah.
WAIGLP, Daytona Beach, Joy 106.3.
Styles 101 Beauty Salon and Barbershop, located at 955 Orange Avenue in Daytona Beach, is a salon for all your hair care needs. Styles 101 specializes in hair extensions, shortcuts, the natural look, hair coloring, locks, lock extensions and repair, and braids. They also offer nail, eyebrow, and eyelash services. Styles 101 is the local shop for Bethune Cookman University, Embry-Riddle, and Daytona State College. For more information or to schedule an appointment, 386-872-6413. That's 386-872-6413. Styles 101 Beauty Salon and Barbershop.
This is your favorite gospel station, 106.3 FM. Tune in every Monday and Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Let's Speak Bible.
Bring the family to the Children's Christmas Party from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Friday, December the 8th at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Hosted by Daytona Beach City Commissioner Paula R. Reed and the Daytona Tortugas. Kids ages 3 to 12 can enjoy a variety of activities, including photos with Santa Claus, face painting, running the bases, music, games, and refreshments. Guests are also encouraged to bring non-perishable food items for a community collection given to needy families. Thank you. Tune in to Daytona Beach Radio with your host, the Reverend Dr. L. Ronald Durham. This is the city's most exciting news and information program here on Joy 106.3 every Wednesday beginning at 12 noon. Don't miss it.
Special thanks and support to WAIG comes from R.J. Gaines Funeral Home, where Alexander C. Wynn III, licensed funeral director and owner. R.J. Gaines Funeral Home provides full burial services, entombment, cremation, transporting services, pre-planning arrangements, and consultations. R.J. Gaines Funeral Home is located at 804 Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune Boulevard. R.J. Gaines Funeral Home, 386-253-7686.
We're back here on the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show, streaming on Joy 106.3 FM. Ralph, we were covering our season grades here on the Gridiron Show. Do you want to go to special teams or do you want to go to defense?
Let's go to special teams first.
Okay, go to special teams.
Now, I was disappointed in our special teams actually this year, because this is the first year since I've been back in Florida for the last 18 years that we did not run one kickoff back for a touchdown.
Okay.
And our guy who had been special teams player of the year for the last 2 years, he didn't run one back.
Mr. Dees.
Yeah, Mr. Dees, Darnell Dees. First time I've ever seen us go through a season without running at least 5 or 6 back, and we didn't do it this year. And I even though when you say special teams, I thought we had 2 exceptionally good kickers, place kicker and punter. And punter. I thought we did well there. I don't think he missed more than 1 or 2 extra points.
No.
You know, we was solid in the kicking game.
And his leg got stronger as the
because he started kicking him in the end zone, which was a good thing to see. That as the season progressed, we got stronger in the kicking game, but we wasn't as strong as I thought we would be in terms of returning kicks and punts.
Right. So, how do you? And we saw religiously daily how much we worked on special teams.
You know, now Daryl, you played Division I football, and special team players are special people. That's why they call them special teams. And those are people who really want to do that.
Right. I mean, that's how you make it to the next level.
That's how you make it.
Yeah.
You know, I remember this kid from Fort Valley State played with the Dallas Cowboys, and he made it specifically for special teams, and that's all he played for Dallas. And he used to get them so riled up for a kickoff. I thought. And he had the whole stands rocking. But again, that's how you get to the league, and that's how you stay in the league. If you remember, we had the young man, Brother Weems.
Yeah, Eric.
He stayed in. I think he must have stayed in the NFL for several years, just special teams.
Oh, special teams. He went in as a wide receiver, but that's how you make it.
I think a lot of games is won and lost on special teams.
It very much is.
And they call it special. I think it takes special kids, special men, to play, to want to do that job. Because really, for the most part, it's a thankless job.
Right.
You got a guy coming at you going 100 miles an hour.
Wedge buster, all the above, man.
It's a thankless job, but it's a lot of games won and lost on special teams.
Man, I tell you what.
I mean, Mainland just won the state championship.
From a special teams play.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And not to take anything away from Cookman football, the start of the game, the opening play, St. Augustine took the opening kickoff back for the first score of the game.
That's what I'm talking about.
And then the comeback at the end of the game and win it with a field goal. Yeah. So, I mean, again, games are won and lost on special teams. And Bethune-Cookman, through the years, have always been special on special teams. Yeah.
Not so much this past year, though.
Right.
Not so much.
What about defense? Let's go D-line. Year.
I'm going to give my D-line a B.
Coach Kohler did a great job. Those guys had some newcomers come in. I mean, he was new himself, but to anchor those guys down. And
he did an excellent job with them guys, though.
He did. Linebackers.
Now, my linebackers, to me, was special this year because they were undersized, but they had a heart of a lion.
Wildebeest, bro.
Yeah, they those kids was undersized, but they played like elephants.
Right.
They played
big.
They
came up big in a lot of games. It's like every time you turned around, there was, you're going
to see 25 and 27.
Yeah.
They're going to be somewhere around the ball.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Defensive backs.
Well, we had Mr. Hill, who I thought did an exceptionally good job. And then we had Mr. Iverson.
Who played a lot with injuries.
Yeah, he played a lot with injuries. I thought Mr. Iverson did a pretty decent job as well. I mean, I liked him because I liked the meanness.
Yeah. I mean, just tenacious.
Yes, yes.
We've already covered special teams, but let's give an overall defensive grade.
I'm going to give them, just for effort, C+. They kept us in a lot of games.
Right. And kept the score close when we couldn't generate.
When we couldn't generate any offense.
We couldn't generate.
Yeah. I mean, because like I said, it was maybe 4, maybe 5 games. We should have won those games.
Yes.
But we couldn't generate offense.
This is going to be the hardest question of the night.
Okay.
Overall team, 2023.
I think that team overachieved.
Yes. I mean, look at the discipline, and we're going to cover that. But
I mean, you think about it now. I mean, the last 3 or 4 years, we had absolutely no discipline at Bethune-Cookman on our football team. And we were getting anywhere from 15, 16 penalties a game.
Yes.
And this year, I think we was in the top 10 in the nation for the least amount of penalties.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that he came in late and he put together a very representative team.
With coming in late and still, even with coming in late and some people that he, brought in and they still weren't able to compete with us and, what have you, with all the stones thrown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when all the controversy before he arrived, I'm looking that we're going to get, I think I'm looking at maybe a 4-game improvement next year.
I would think
at least 4.
Yeah.
Maybe, I'm thinking 5, but minimum 4 improvement from this year.
So that's a 7-game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7 or 8, really.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm looking at this schedule, and I was at every one of these games.
Right.
We could have won each one of those games. I mean, come on, man.
Overall, we got a C over here in the comment section. C plus. C plus.
That's where I would go too. I mean, you got to remember, when he came in, everybody was pretty much gone.
Right.
I mean, and I still think, this is my opinion now, and I'm saying this for HBCUs, we got to go back to the high schools and do it the old-fashioned way. And we gotta develop these kids and stop thinking that we can go to the portal and get a diamond in the rough.
And so you mentioned portal, and we're gonna talk very quickly on portal.
Yeah, but I'm not a fan of the portal.
No, and as you've said in numerous shows, like, it can help you,
or it can kill you.
Yeah,
it takes
right.
And it gives.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes more than it gives.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, very few, but I'm going to stand on it because we're watching the portal daily, and I know everyone over here is watching the portal. There is very few times where that grass is
greener.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I've said it all year. I'm not a portal guy.
And the grass that you might see that's greener might be artificial turf.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm saying, because I think right now the high school kids are getting overlooked. Nobody wants to develop anybody because all of a sudden everybody get this mentality: win now, baby, win now. Right. Don't develop anything, just win now. Or win with somebody else stuff that they couldn't win with, but you're going to turn it into something that's great. It don't happen that often. That really don't happen.
And man, not to call any names, it's not here locally or anything, but you could even be maybe not even a starter, but you play 75% of the downs, and there's some players who think they should get what a starter is getting.
Yeah, but that's foolishness. But that's why I'm saying.
Oh, for sure. I just said that
develop your own talent.
Right.
And what
a guy who wants it because, hey, I want to show you what I got, and then once I get there, then you can start.
And, and what we the fans got to do is be a little bit more patient.
Very, very.
And everything that glitter ain't diamonds.
No.
We just got to be. And, we get into this thing, you look at the Gremlins and the Southerns and even Morehouse hired an alumni and he only lasted 7 games. And, dude, I mean, even the grown-ups, they talk about the young kids with the instant gratification. Even the grown-ups are starting to want instant gratification.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
And I think even with Prime, I think he's settled down a little bit to understand that it's going to take a little work.
And whether you want it to settle down to realize that or not, there's some teams who teach you how to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, this wasn't overnight.
Yeah.
What FAMU did was not overnight. It was 4-something years in the making.
I mean, what? He was there he's been there 6 years?
Yeah.
And his first 3 scrubbers.
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah. So.
But the A&M people was patient with him.
Right.
I mean, because you got to remember his first 2 years at A&M, Bethune ran him out of the stadium.
Right. They were patient. They got behind him, what he asked for.
And they gave it to him.
And still doing it.
Yeah.
And now they have a SWAC championship and a chance
Going to celebration
win.
Because you remember now, the last time they were going to celebration go, the church school on Mary McLeod Boulevard knocked them out.
Right.
So it's not like they've been raising all this cane for the last 10 or
Right.
15 years, because they haven't. They had 10 bad years.
Let's cover our season real quick. I know we gave season grades, but overall our Wildcats finished 3-8, 0.273% in winning. In the conference, we went 2-6. We were 0.250 in the conference. Away, we were 0-5. Home, we were 3-1. Neutral premises, which were our money games, we were 0-2.
Well, you almost got to call a Southern game a away game too, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, you can call it home or away, whatever.
Here's where we get down to the meat and potatoes to say what we did. Overall, Bethune-Cookman scored 18.45 points per game. Our opponents averaged 26 points a game. Total points for the season, 203. Our opponents, 286. First downs on the season, rushing, Bethune-Cookman 80, opponents 107. Passing, Bethune-Cookman 69, opponents 101. Penalties for first downs, Bethune-Cookman 27, opponents 10. That's a good number. That's a good number. Yeah. Total first downs on the season, 176. For our opponents, 218. Rushing yards gained, Bethune-Cookman 1,739 yards. Our opponents, 2,185 yards. Yards lost, Bethune-Cookman 358. Our opponents, 337. Not that far off. Yeah, not that far off. We had 410 attempts rushing. Our opponents, 410 attempts. Average per attempt for rushing, 3.4. Our opponents, 4.5. Average yards per game on the ground, Bethune-Cookman 125.5. Our opponents, 168. Touchdowns on the ground, Bethune-Cookman 14. Opponents, 25. Total yards on the season on the ground, 1,381. Our opponents, 1,848. Now, here's where it gets
crazy.
Yeah. Passing yards. Bethune-Cookman attempted 305 passes for 167 completions. Our opponents, 310 to 188. So not bad off. Interceptions for Bethune-Cookman, 10. Interceptions for our opponents, 9. Average yards per attempt, 4.86. Our opponents, 7.43. Average per game, Bethune-Cookman threw for 134.82 yards. Our opponents, 209.45. We have to work on that. We have to get that better.
Of course.
Touchdowns from passing, 9. Our opponents, and this is year end, 8. Total passing yards, Bethune-Cookman 1,483 yards. Our opponents, 2,304 yards. There's a huge difference there of about big difference.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Total offense, Bethune-Cookman ran 715 plays. Our opponents, 720. Average per play, 4 yards per play. Our opponents, 5.8. Average per game, 260.4 for the Wildcats, 377.5 for our opponents. Total yards, Bethune-Cookman, 2,864 yards. Our opponents,
that's
4,152 yards.
Offense wasn't very productive.
Most quarterbacks have our total yards.
That's right. Just passing.
On the season, just passing.
Yeah.
26 touchdowns on the season. Our opponents, 37. we'll jump down to penalties on the season. Average per game in yards, 35.36. Our opponent's 70.18. So that's a big flip from 2022. Total penalties on the season.
49. That's outstanding.
49 penalties for 389 yards.
And you call that discipline.
Very much discipline. Our opponents, 85 for 770.
Almost double ours. Yeah.
Time of possession, average per game, Bethune-Cookman 28.55. Our opponents 30.57. Total time of possession for the season, 5 hours, 18 minutes, 7 seconds. Our opponents, 5 minutes.
5 hours.
5 hours, 40 seconds on the season. Ralph, what is, off the numbers we went over, what stands out at you?
The total offense. We had 2,864, and our opponents had 4,152. That's a big difference.
That's a huge difference.
I mean, we wouldn't generate poop.
No.
That was a big one for me, and everything else matches up. I mean, we had 715 plays, and our opponents had 720. But they did a lot more with theirs than what we did.
Just think about, I think we have to cover, and, we've said it just a few moments ago, but if you're able to cut down on your penalty yardage, which we did, and be able to sustain near or about what your opponent sustained on offense, your whole win-loss flips.
See, I think my opinion is that our offensive philosophy has to change because we can't continue.
No.
We can't continue that way.
No.
And be successful.
No. Even with injuries and things of that nature, you still have to be able to figure that out.
Yeah.
Now, I'll give some degree of this to injury, but I can't give that many yards away and say,
Yeah. See,
and just think if it wasn't for the Alabama A&M game, it would be worse.
Yeah, it'd be worse.
Yeah.
But see, a lot of our problems was just concept, though. I mean, it was just purely concept. And what I mean by that is not developing the offense train of thought to the person you got that's got to spin it.
Right.
I mean, when we sustained those injuries, immediately our offensive philosophy had to change, but it didn't. We stayed with the same philosophy.
Yeah. And you said earlier, you have to be able to change with who you got and call it to his strengths. Musa's not a runner.
No.
And it's not to hark on FAMU, but Musa's not a runner.
Nope.
So you called his strengths throwing. And we knew when you get him running, it's not going to be. I got
an even better example though. So Matthew played with Shine Wyatt for 3 years and a wishbone.
Matt Johnson,
and you never heard of him.
Right.
But as soon as a new coaching regime come in with a new philosophy, you thought he was the greatest thing since apple pie. Yeah. I mean, he could throw it and he could run it, but you didn't know that the 3 years prior to that. Though.
Right. So that just covers our season. We end the season 3-8 overall, 2-6 in the conference. Ralph, let's move to some things we talked about previously at the beginning of Coach Woody's era here at Bethune-Cookman. Coach Woody, hired February 6, 2023, named as Bethune-Cookman's 16th head coach. We discussed some things, and we have them jotted down here. what would he do? And we knew he was hired late. This is definitely after signing day.
Right.
Signing day is the first Wednesday, National Signing Day. We have an early one in December. Right. It's the first Wednesday. But this was after. So our question was him hiring assistant coaches. In your point of view, and we want to hear from you fans also, how did Coach Woody do with assistant coaches?
He did a lot better than I thought he would.
In the time allotted.
Yeah. I mean, I was extremely satisfied with our offensive line coach and our defensive line coach. I thought that our safety coach, I thought he was a good pickup. We lost our wide receiver coach just before the season started. So we had some things that I thought that wasn't his fault. People got.
And he had to adapt quick.
Yeah.
He had to adapt quick to lose him, So. Originally there was another special teams.
Yeah.
And we brought.
Exactly. So, Coach came in as a great recruiter. So now this time he's going to have the whole thing where he can pick and choose who he wants. He might not get all the people he wants, but he'll have a choice to
definitely
make that choice.
Another thing we talked about, Ralph, facilities. Now, basically, we have three practice facilities. And what I mean by that, of course, the stadium is one. You have the turf field, and you also had grass field that was rehab. So, what do you grade when we talk about facilities? What do you say in regards to facilities? That was one question that we had coming into the Raymond.
I still say we had C+.
Okay.
Now, did they finish the locker room?
Not as of yet.
They have not finished it.
No.
See, that's going to be a big thing for him, though.
Oh, for sure.
To have that locker room.
For sure.
And if I'm not mistaken, they also tacked on a laundry room on that, right?
Yes, supposed to.
Okay, so you said supposed, right? So that's not a sure thing.
Because, if they don't, bro, we know, like, what we saw, man. It was like UPS at the stadium.
Yeah.
And shout out to those the equipment managers and staff. They had a task.
That was crazy.
It was a task.
Yeah, that was a task. Yeah.
That was not for the weak-hearted.
So I don't know, whether we're going to go back to the stadium and practice or we're going to use the two fields, which is going to be interesting. And not because that locker room should be finished.
By spring,
by the spring that locker room should be completed.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that they spend most of their time on that grass field.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping.
Cut down on injuries.
Yeah. Because you spend a lot of time on turf. Those turf fields, you get a lot of injuries, especially ankles and knees. So I don't know. If you notice, I never forget when all the baseball teams went to turf field and all the players started getting knee injuries.
Yeah.
Because that turf don't forgive. and we actually, for the first time in my life, I actually saw how they put them together. And them suckers, they harder than a brick ceiling.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they hard.
Yeah.
But so we'll see. I think for the most part things are looking up. But more importantly, Coach is going to be, he and his team is going to be recruiting a full cycle.
And I'm glad you brought that up. That was our next thing, recruiting. Coming into this season, he was late on recruiting. How do you think he did in from some things you might know, how is he doing? How's the staff doing with recruiting? We saw some things out there with offers and things of that nature, and I think there could be some going out tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he started actually recruiting before the season started, because when he had that skills training,
right, his camps.
Yeah, he had about clinics. 600 kids, which everybody that I know that's been around Bethune all their life, they said they had never seen that before in the history of Bethune.
And I think leaving from that clinic, the young man from
New York, right?
New York,
a quarterback. Yeah. So I think he knows. That's the one thing I think he knows what he's doing in terms of recruiting. He knows that. I think he knows where his weaknesses are,
right,
and what he has to recruit for. And I'm pretty sure, and I know what quarterbacks we got coming back, and I'm excited about our quarterbacks.
Right.
Really.
Right.
Because my thing is, if you don't have somebody to spin it.
We know how that conversation.
We've had this conversation many a time. You got to have somebody to spin it, or you ain't got nothing. So I'm looking. It's one in particular. I'm not going to call its name. We got a quarterback that everybody have heard about, and this year I think they're going to see him. And folks, when you see him, you're going to be asking yourself, how in the heck did Bethune get this kid? But we got him. And unfortunately, he couldn't hit the field this past year, but
that's okay.
That's okay.
He would have missed some games if
he would have missed some games. Yeah. So I'm saying this. I'm not bragging, but I think we're going to be. I said this last year before our guys got injured. I think this is going to be one of the years that we aren't going to be worried about quarterbacking. I think we're going to have 3 really good quarterbacks that either one of them could start. But we'll see. I can't wait to February the 6th, actually.
What did you think of our schedule this year?
You know, again, I commented earlier about A&M schedule. I liked A&M schedule. Now, I don't know whether I would want to put 3 Division II teams on my schedule every year. But I ain't that big. I'm not a big proponent of money games.
Right.
Because really, I haven't seen over the last 4 or 5 years where we benefited a lot from money games. At least not looking at our facilities, I don't see where we benefit.
It goes back to putting the resources in the right spot. Right?
Yeah, I mean, and this year was the first year where we got a lot of kids hurt in money games.
And the talk is the 2 that are scheduled to come up next year, the 2024 season. So,
yeah, but those, I'm almost thinking, at least one of them, I think we could actually be very competitive in one of them.
I think 2 of them.
Could be. But you got to think about it now. Memphis and Miami is in bowl games. I mean, Memphis wasn't a stale donut now.
No, not by any sort of means.
And they're in a bowl game, and they're pretty fired up about it. And I guess you heard that Miami quarterback is in the portal.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Season ticket purchases.
Season tickets went up, but I always buy season tickets, and I didn't have a problem with the increase. I was surprised they was that cheap anyway.
You're right. You
know what I mean?
I mean, like we said, that's a per game.
Yeah,
in some places.
I looked at it, I thought, wow, so they went up a little bit, but I really didn't excite me because, hell, we only got 4 games at home.
Right.
I think we're the only team in America that tries to schedule the least amount of home games out of all than anything. But anyway.
And then adjust the time on it.
Yeah, that's a different topic. But anyway. But the price, because I'm telling you, at most of these colleges, a game ticket is at least $100.
Oh yeah. And contrary to what fans might think, across the SWAC, ticket prices that at Daytona Stadium are comparable across the league.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And they're going to be higher next year.
Yeah.
But my son was a student at Michigan State, I had never heard any of those people bitch about ticket price. I ain't never.
In fact, depending on who they're playing, they're going up on how much you.
I used to, because a lot of my colleagues in Michigan was alumni of Michigan State, and I bought a lot of their tickets for football. Yeah. I mean, and they never complained about ticket price, never.
We'll answer that shortly, Marcus. All right, fans attending games, home and away.
Well, I think our fans had gone through 2-9 seasons, and to say the least, they were disappointed in the way the program was going, and more importantly, a lot of other things occurred. Our alumni association got kicked out. We don't have a president, and everybody got a lot of things on their mind that's not related to football.
Right.
And when they're upset about those things, and they don't support the school. But actually, you ain't hurting the people who's running the school.
Right. Right.
I mean,
well, they don't make money off ticket sales, but if you go buy a season ticket and you don't show up for the game,
they got the money. Personally, when Bryant Jenkins came in, season ticket holders, there was a push to get season tickets, which really makes sense to me.
Oh, for sure.
And then it just dropped off. If they sold a season ticket, good. If they didn't, that's the thing that I got.
Right.
I mean, because they changed a lot of stuff. When Bryant Jenkins was here, I used to be able to buy my season ticket, my parking pass, and my classic ticket all in one package. And then somebody got the bright idea that we'll take the Florida Classic ticket out of there and then make you stand in line for 2 hours. Because we're going to open 2 hours late.
And change the line around.
Yeah. So, I mean, people who always got their same Florida Classic seat lost those seats because they gave it to somebody else. So, it's, I don't know. I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to get into it anymore.
Booster clubs, support clubs.
We got a booster club.
We do.
The Gridiron Club.
Well, we also have the Champions Club too. But
do we?
Yeah. Supposedly.
I have never, and I've gone around the country. I have never seen a school have their own booster club.
No, it's typically a private entity that,
pretty much
you all can mesh together and work together because,
But it's not run by the school.
Right.
I'm just saying.
So we have Hail Wildcats Gridiron Club and the Champions Club.
The Champions Club. The Champions Club wasn't active this past football season, was it?
Homecoming. It started up. Yeah. Homecoming started.
Good for them.
Now you know what else. What comes with that?
What?
What helps with recruiting? What helps with retention? All the above. What is the world of college sports? Not just football. What is it ran by?
NIL. It's run by NIL.
How was that this year? No comment from me. No comment at all.
I heard Saban say something about a month ago, and he said he had 2 kids he's recruiting, and each one of them told him they was expecting to get $1 million. And he said, I'm not going to give you anything. I don't even know whether you can play.
Right. And it's not pay for play. Yes, there's legislation. There's some stuff being proposed to where it could be a different tier for Division I and all that. But That remains to be seen. NIL is
it's sponsorship.
It's
That's
name,
sponsorship.
image,
Yeah.
and likeness.
But that, and a lot of the kids don't understand that they are the biggest driver of NIL.
Right. You're your own. You sell your.
You sell yourself.
Right.
The more followers you got, people want to jump on that bandwagon so they can advertise with it. But a lot of the players think that they're on salary or something.
No, it's not. It's not pay to play. It's not pay for play.
No. NIL is name, image, and likeness. I mean, Shedeur Sanders gets all that money because he does a lot of work for advertisers.
Right.
The young lady at LSU,
Right.
I mean, if you notice, from the time they won the championship, every time you went on Facebook, anytime I advertised, you saw her.
Right.
And people jump on that bandwagon. I don't think, this is just my opinion, I don't think the HBCUs have done a great job trying to understand what NIL is all about.
They have not.
And so it seems that we always are the last ones to jump on the boat because we have no interest in it.
But so not to talk about the portal or anything, not to get on the portal, but when you're looking at the information 24/7 and all those portal places, what do you see next to some of the players?
They telling you how much money they need.
Right, their NIL valuation.
Yeah, that's what they're telling you.
Right.
They said, in order for me to come to your school, you got to pay me this much money. And a lot of them kids, not all of them,
right?
Not all of them, because some of them going to get what they want.
Oh, for sure.
Some schools are very desperate.
Right.
But a lot of those players going to end up staying out there, and nobody never picked them up.
It's something that Matt Rule said, and it's similar to what Nick Saban said, and he just Matt Rule, head coach of Nebraska, like a quarterback in the portal is going to cost you
1.5.
Yeah.
Now, where do you think that money coming from? The school ain't paying that 1.5.
No, they can't. It's illegal for them to do it.
So where do you think that money coming from? That money coming from boosters,
fans.
Yeah. I mean, that's where that money coming from. I still don't think people understand NIL.
They don't.
I think they have a really bad misconception of what NIL. They think they're going on salary.
No.
But that's not what it's about.
No.
I don't know.
And this will be our last conversation about it, and we'll move on. We as fans have to understand, if you want that these days, if you want that type of player, unfortunately, it's going to hit you in the pocket for them.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you another example. My son teammate at Michigan State just bought the Phoenix Suns. Now, he and my son is the exact same age.
Right.
And he just offered Urban Myers, if he would come to be Michigan State football coach, $100 million. Now, this kid played at Michigan State, but he never played. He was on the team, but he really never played. But all he thinks about is giving back to Michigan State. He never played, but he always thinks about giving back to Michigan State.
Marcus, we understand, he was like Mr. NIL is an HBCU grad. Yeah, that's true. There are opportunities for our guys to go out there and market themselves, but that's the point. That's one guy and a handful of guys who understand what NIL is. The majority of them don't care to market themselves or put themselves out there to be able to get that.
They want somebody else to do it.
Right. And you just hand me the money.
Yeah.
I need it for this, and this, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm playing, that's enough. No, that's not it.
Not really.
Yeah, that's not it.
Not really.
But that's another story for another day.
I mean,
all right. Yeah.
I don't know. What did Marcus say to him?
He was like, Mr. NIL is a HBCU grad. Yes, we all know that, but
so what that mean for Bethune Cookman though?
Well, it's a lot of them that it's he even has his own platform, his own marketplace, and trying to get people to sign up on the marketplace so he can sell them, but
nobody got time to sign up. Nobody want to put the profile together.
We got guys on the profile on the marketplace, and
I don't. You know what? You could sit here and talk for the rest of the year, and people still won't understand NIL.
Willie Jackson, I love you, man.
What will it say?
He said, "Not people from BCC, BCU."
How you doing, Willie?
Fans, we want to hear from you. This is our season finale. What would you like to see from our Bethune-Cookman Wildcat football team, our Gridiron team, in 2024? We want to hear from you. 386-868-3411. 386-868-3411. We want to hear from you. Hey, big weekend coming up here in Daytona, Ralph. The FCS Bowl. East Preps and those guys, they play it here annually. Myself and a couple other guys, Daryl Brown and Mark Lewis, will be coaching in that contest. That game is this Sunday at Daytona.
This Sunday?
This Sunday,
oh,
yeah.
Really?
This Sunday at Daytona Stadium. Practice starts tomorrow. That practice will be at the stadium. So we encourage you to come out and join the FCS Bowl. Unfortunately, this year we do not have any Wildcats in it this year, but we still encourage, if you're in the surrounding areas, come out, support. It's a great thing, held by a great young man. And like I said, it's an annual event, and then we'll come back next year in January and play Tropical Bowl. That game's over in Camping World Stadium, and we hope to hear from one of the coaches from the FCS Bowl.
Yeah, I was
tonight.
at that game. That was a good game last year.
It is. It's really a good game, and it's you get to see FCS players from all around the country. Of course, the ones who are done playing, the playoffs are still going on for FCS. And you're right, John. John's saying the team has to get bigger, faster, stronger. And trust me, there's a lot of work going into making that happen and going to get guys who really want to be here.
But, more importantly, to that question, though, to get people bigger, that calls for nutrition, and that's one thing we don't do very well at.
Right.
Because if you're going to feed a football team with the rest of the students, it ain't going to do it.
No, you can't do that.
That football team is burning up maybe 3 or 4 times more energy.
Especially with the way we practice. It's a nonstop, fast pace, from... And what a lot of people don't understand, we practice before we practice.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, at 3:30 when we get off the bus, you get dressed and you're out on the field going through things, and the first period hadn't even started.
That burns up a lot of energy.
Yeah.
It burns up a ton of. Because football is different from basketball, baseball, and those other sports. Because in basketball, they eat a lot of starch.
It's said over in the comment section, we used to have a great nutrition program, but that's what we're saying. It's resources have to happen for that to continue to happen. Right. And it's not just the normal resources. It's not just, hey, I give here. That's an ongoing thing.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's not just nutrition during football season. What are we doing in the off season? How are we getting bigger in the weight room? So
you gotta pound the food.
Definitely have to pound the food and get that. That's first and foremost. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely.
But I think Coach got a plan to get there. He just needs support, and in fact, Willie Jackson and I was talking about that. You know, how can you help Coach if you don't know what he needs?
Right.
And
it's about the community and everyone getting involved.
Yeah. You gotta ask him what he needs.
Definitely. 386-868-3411. 386-868-3411. We want to talk Wildcat football. What would you like to see in the 2024 season? We're going to be coming back to you guys, periodically throughout the time during this whole recruiting transition to, let you know how our Wildcats are doing in recruiting. I'd like to welcome Coach Jim Collins, coach of the FCS Bowl national team, to the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. Coach, how's it going, man?
Hello?
Hey, Coach, you there?
Yeah, man, finally.
Welcome to the Gridiron Show, Coach. I know you're just getting off a plane. We're glad to have you here back in Florida again. Coach, tell us a little bit about the FCS Bowl and how all this came to be.
Well, this is I believe our 9th year of the FCS Bowl. Mike Horte, the founder of East Prep, started this concept to have a small school All-American game out in Allentown, Pennsylvania, 13 years ago. So we started the game as the National Bowl out in Allentown. It was primarily D3 and D2 kids, trying to give them an opportunity to showcase some talent. We also parlayed that with a D2, D3 pro combine. Kids get, once again, a chance to get their times down and some measurables to try to enhance their ability to get seen by NFL, CFL, or any other pro teams. And here we are now. We've merged it 9 years ago. We added the FCS Bowl, and about 7 years ago, the Tropical Bowl.
Most definitely, Coach, most definitely. And, you have a plethora of scouts, and most of the time, all 32 teams show up, including some CFL teams. And now we know we have the XFL and the, USFL and things of that nature. So tell us a little bit about that and what to expect this coming weekend.
This weekend, we'll have, I'm not exactly sure how many confirmed NFL teams, but we should have every CFL team there. Also, on some of the coaching staffs, we have head coaches and other coaches in the IFL and other arena teams. But these players are getting an opportunity to showcase their talent, not only from the NFL and CFL, but, like you said, the XFL and other indoor football teams.
That's great, Coach. And if I'm a casual fan who, or not even a casual fan, but I don't want football to be over, where should I come to this weekend? When is the big game?
The game is going to be at noon at Daytona Beach Memorial Stadium. We should have a great turnout, as we always do for players. We have 150 players coming in, all from D3, D2, NAIA, HBCUs, and should be a great chance to see some young talent that hopefully will get on the roster someday, either as a draft pick or undrafted free agent.
And Coach, how many, down through the years that you've had the FCS Bowl, have you guys been able to put guys on or help guys get to NFL rosters?
Absolutely. Between the last 13 years we've been doing this, I'd say the last 11 we've had coming to talent.
Okay. You still there, Coach?
I think we might have lost him.
I think we might have lost him. I know he's in travel stats. We'll try to get it back on here. Coach, you there?
Yeah, give me a minute. I'm just docking on this lovely bus.
Understood.
Gotta love travel, right?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So, in the last 11 years, we've had NFL and CFL teams at all of our games. I believe our count today is about 800 kids in those 11 years have gone on to sign undrafted free agent contracts. We've had approximately 13 kids drafted. We've, in the last 3 Super Bowls, we've had 9 players playing Super Bowl.
All right. And that game's held right here, as Coach said, here in Daytona Beach, Florida. And then, Coach, what's next? What happens after the FCS Bowl? Let's just say I'm a player who balls out in the FCS Bowl. What I have the opportunity to do then?
The next opportunity is if you ball out, we bring up approximately 20 players from this game, and we'll bring them up to our Tropical Bowl game, which is our FBS All-American game in Orlando at end of January. And you can continue your path to try to keep impressing the scouts and make a name for yourself.
Most definitely. Well, that's great, Coach. Hey, man, thanks for calling in, Coach. I look forward to seeing you this weekend. And as we said, fans, if you have an opportunity, come out this weekend. You can even come to practice. Go to fcsbowl.com for that schedule. But the game kicks off at noon at Daytona Stadium here in Daytona Beach, Florida. Coach, you have anything to say to the fans listening before we let you go?
Come on out and support these guys, and hopefully with some local guys in the roster you can support even more.
Hey, we appreciate it, Coach. Thank you, man. And like I said, I'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good. You guys have a great day.
You too. Okay. Have a good night, Coach.
Bye.
Bye.
386-868-3411. 386-868-3411. We want to hear from you, Wildcat fans. What would you like to see if Coach Woody was sitting there in the chair across from us right now? What would you like for him to hear from you? And you can be anonymous. We won't call names if you don't call names. So 386-868-3411. 386-868-3411.
So we don't have any kids playing in that game because they didn't want to play, or they had other obligations.
Other obligations, not signing up in time, I think, and yeah, some of them wanted to train a little bit longer than usual. Caller, you're on the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. Welcome.
Hello, do you guys hear me?
Yes, sir, we hear you.
All right, Mr. Ralph, Mr. Darold, where's Larry tonight?
Larry had a engagement earlier today, so he was unable to make it back in time for the show, but he'll be on with us when we fire back up again.
Oh, okay. Well, I hear, Ralph, what you asking what we want to see next year. I'm not worried about the football team. I'm worried about the support that the football team gets.
Right. We echo that same thing.
We just don't have the numbers, and I'm going to keep, on my end, I'm going to keep fighting and swinging to see it and talking about people real bad to make them come and give.
Right.
Because, like Ralph was saying about the season tickets, and I think we can, if we have 5 home games and you charging $150 for 5 home games, we have about 20 in our group that buy season tickets and come to probably one, but they just support. It doesn't matter.
Right.
They support. We have 20,000 alumni, and just if we could get 5,000 people to do that, even if they don't show up, you're going to get credit for like 5,000 people come to the game.
Mm-hmm. Right, definitely.
And that'll move us up. And also, we have 1,500 ex-Wildcat football players. And I'm trying to get them to understand that, about the training table Woody wants, that if we could get at least half of us to give $25 a month we could raise $225,000 for that training table. We don't have to break people.
No, it's not.
We just got to do it in numbers.
Well, I tell you what, though, Willie, $25 should be very doable.
Yeah, I mean, I'll spend $25 in the morning probably doing nothing.
I mean, that would help. That would help him tremendously to get his team bigger and faster.
So this is what I'm trying to do, and I need to work a little bit harder, but I'm getting to be 7 decades around here. I'm tired.
Aren't we all?
The thing about it, Willie, you aren't in this fight alone, and we're going to keep on pushing together, and we're better together and stronger, and we're not going to give up the fight. We're going to win this battle, and show the world that it can be done, and we're just encouraging everyone to join in with us. That's what we need.
Well, like I say, I'll be there. God bless us to get another year, but we're going to get it in and try to help BCU get back like we were in 2010 to 2020. So we should be pretty good.
Willie, this is what I say. Okay, you might have two different issues, but I think you got to separate your issues. Now, of course, most of us aren't happy with what's going on administratively at Bethune-Cookman University. But you know what? We have a fond memory of what we could do athletically, and that's football, basketball, baseball. We always have one of the best baseball and softball teams in the country, always. Now, we felt a little short here the last 2 or 3 years in football, but, we still need support. We still need people to support our athletic teams, and that's what we're asking people to do.
Well, I agree with that, Ralph. And me personally, I'm not worried about the administration.
Me either.
It's just a radio. I curse a lot, so I won't curse on the radio. So I really don't care about the administration. I'm supporting the Wildcats athletic teams, like you said, the football team, the basketball team, the girls softball team. I like that. I mean, I think I'm gonna come to more games on that one. So, but anyway, you guys doing a good job as usual, and I'll be supporting you, and I'll be always on the show if I can get in. And I hope you guys have a happy holidays, and look on the TV next week in Atlanta. You'll see me at the Celebration Bowl with my Bethune-Cookman sweatshirt on.
I love to hear it. Hey, thank you for your support, man. We truly appreciate it and all that you do, man. And like I said, we're right there with you to keep on pushing.
All right, you guys take care now.
You take care,
You
Willie.
too, man.
All right.
All right.
386-868-3411. 386-868-3411. Ralph, spoken like a true champ. He said it. He couldn't say it no better.
No, I mean, I know Willie has a good heart, and what he said tonight is what he really means.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he really means it.
Oh boy, by far.
And if he can get even part of that 1,500 football players to support, and let's make sure Coach Woody has a training table, I think he's going to get that done.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah,
most
definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. Caller, you're on the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. Welcome.
Hey, good people. How you guys doing?
I thought I knew that number. We're good, man. Congratulations. I know you're on the way back from Tallahassee after the big win. And
on my way back from Tallahassee, passing through this little city up here in Columbia County.
Whoa, baby. The gateway to Florida. Say it loud and proud.
Yeah, man. Listen, I am a proud Wildcat and proud family member right now. But
definitely,
congratulations to Mainland High School. Congratulations to head coach Travis Rowland,
yes, sir,
former
indeed.
defensive captain for your Bethune Cookman Wildcats a few years back. That guy just, listen, he was the captain of the team that won Mainland's first high school state championship. Last year, he led them as the head coach, and they were runner-ups. This year, they won, and I'm just so proud of that guy. I'm proud for the city. I'm proud for Bethune-Cookman because, Travis, Coach Rowland, is really, the guy grows up in the Bethune-Cookman. He runs around the campus in there in the summertime. He's a product of Bethune-Cookman, and just to see, it's just symbolic of the type of people that we prepare and send out and equip and give back to the community and produce in the community. And so, again, I'm just really happy for Mainland High School. I'm really happy. It's kind of a good reminder. I heard Ralph just talk about, maybe not everybody's a fan of some of the administration that's going on, but Bethune-Cookman equip people and train people. And, again, we just see Travis Rowland and what he's doing at Mainland High School and the pride that he's bringing to Volusia County, and just a proud Wildcat who's giving back to his community and serving people well, and really give us all something to be proud of and kind of remind ourselves of that we enter to learn and we depart to serve.
Most definitely. And it's great that that legacy continues to roll on, and in different places throughout the country, and being able to bring a state championship back and be a Wildcat, and that connection is great. And we have another one, I think, right now in the game, Hawthorne and Madison. We have Bernard West.
That's right.
Another Wildcat.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So that legacy keeps on going, and it's something to behold. It's something to behold.
But Jared, everything you say about Travis, and even more, because I think not only is he a good football player, I think he's a good person, and I'm extremely happy for him, and I think he's well deserving. I think he's a hard worker, and a lot of people is in his corner tonight.
He's as good of a human being as you get, and again, absolutely. I think to that point, just embodies that. Bethune, our motto is, you go to Bethune-Cookman, you walk through those doors from day one. You are trained to do just that: enter, learn, depart, serve. And,
exactly.
I think again, Coach Rowland is an embodiment of that. Just really a great human being, good dude, church guy. Family guy. Again, the kids around the community, they look up to him, they love him, they listen to him. He pours back. His father is the commissioner of Pop Warner football in Daytona Beach, has been for almost 30 years. His mother is just recently retired. She's a Wildcat. Rose Rowland was a superintendent assistant superintendent of Volusia County Schools. So just an amazing family, and they just embody the spirit of Miss Bethune, and they go out and do it. They serve their community well.
Definitely so. Jerry, you have anything you'd like to see out of our Wildcats in the 2024 season?
I'd like to see Coach Woody end the year like Travis. Some championship.
Most definitely.
So, I think, for me, just talking to you guys, I considered this a year zero for Coach Woody as opposed to year one, just because of, timing and everything. Now, that's not the way the record keepers keep it, but, I think it's remarkable to look at how many guys we had play out of position, how many injuries we had, and yet, guys went out and they played. And so now that, Coach Woody has an entire off season, full recruiting cycle to go out and to get players that he wants, and to build up, the team that he does have to kind of add some extra weight and speed and training on those guys. I'm really excited to see him construct the team. I think we have to get more explosive on offense. You ask me what I like to see. I like to see us enhance our skill position, our skill players. We need some. It's good to be able to turn around and hand the ball off 13 plays and go and score a touchdown. But in modern football, you have to have explosive plays. That's something that was missing in our offense this year. So we got to get some guys who can flip the field position quickly. So I'm looking to see that come in defensively. I don't think there's any magic wand on defense. That defense was top. It was a top defense in the SWAC. So, and that was with having undersized guys and guys playing out of position. So, just excited about the possibility of what will happen there once you start getting a little bit more beef, a little bit more guys who are natural at the linebacker position, natural in some other positions, and see what we do. But my eyes are on the offensive side because I thought Coach Woody did a great job with the defense in year one.
Yes.
Definitely. So.
So, I know you guys, fielding calls and people coming in, but again, I just driving and hopefully I didn't hit any dead spots, but I had to give a shout out to the city. But even with that, I'm just really, year one, we coach improved on last year's record. I know we were kind of all hoping to be more in the 5-6 win area as opposed to 3-win, but hey, it takes time to grow. But I'd like to echo, Willie's call. Just let's continue to support the program. Let's continue to be behind, and I would really love to see some momentum from the supporters, just to if certain things that are not in our control. But what is in our control is our ability to support and our ability to rally together and our ability to come together as a Bethune Cookman family. That's 100% in our control. And some other things that aren't will continue to, everybody fight the fight that they feel like they're supposed to be fighting, no matter what that is. But again, that doesn't, that shouldn't stop any of us from supporting the university and pushing to go forward. So looking forward to some positive momentum and a good year next year.
Most definitely. Hey, man, Jerry, thanks for calling in, man. Drive safely. And we look forward to we'll be talking to you throughout the off season and as we do recruiting and things. I know people will be following for up-to-date information. Make sure you go to hailwildcats.com and check that blog out and things of that nature, because we're going to be, if it happens, we're going to bring it to you. If it happens, we're going to bring it to you and have it for our Wildcat fans. This is
talking things out. I know we normally do a Hail Wildcats over here, but class of 1993, Buck Pride never died. Have a good one.
Congratulations,
have a good one.
Man. Drive
Be
safely.
safe, man.
All right. Oh man, it's great, man. It's I'm glad to hear Travis getting the state championship and the Bucks, man. The Bucks. He won one as a player and now as a coach. So
I think he's going to win many more, though.
Yeah.
I don't think he's finished winning.
No.
I mean, because, again, it's what Jerry was saying. He not only is a great coach, but he is a tremendous person. And,
right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I think I see a lot of good things happening for him.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Closing words, Ralph.
Well, we got several months before we get back to football. And I'm looking forward to Coach Woody putting together a good group of men, and we're gonna open up some eyes, and we hope the fans support.
And Ralph, it goes without saying, yes, we're not technically on the field playing games, but this is the time that you win now.
Yep, this is when you really win. Actually, the off season,
you win now.
That's where you get bigger and stronger.
Right.
And
right.
They work a lot on techniques.
Yes.
And so this is the time that when August come, they're ready.
Right.
I mean, they don't get ready in August.
No,
they get ready from now until August.
Right.
Because they'll be working all the way through the summer.
And that's just another testament to what we had to go through and to be where we are now, because a lot of those guys that we saw in April wasn't there in August. And we know a couple of those guys who we saw in September in Memphis just got there in August.
That's
so,
right.
you know.
Yeah. I mean, you think about when we went through the spring game.
Right.
We couldn't even play a full game because we didn't have enough linemen.
Right.
Enough offensive linemen.
Right.
You know, and we wasn't sure about who was going to quarterback and who was going to do this and who was going to do that. And I think he really pulled it together by August. I mean, he wasn't exactly where he wanted to be, but he was better than he was in April.
We saw him setting the sights, and the scope is, getting lined up to
exactly.
Exactly.
So now that he got a chance to build momentum, I'm looking for great things.
And he's taking advantage of that.
Yeah,
just know that it's
we know Coach Wood is a hard worker.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's no doubt that he's going to put the work in. We know that, and his whole staff going to put the work in. We know that from the start. So I already gave my prediction.
There we go.
I already gave my prediction. I want to add 5 to the 3 we won.
Right.
I want to make at least 8.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fans, we thank you for your support this year, for watching the Gridiron Show. We're glad to bring it to you, and this is definitely not goodbye, but for now, as we get into our recruiting season, we will be coming to you from time to time, hopping online and on live, probably for not the whole 2-hour stint, but as we step away, the Gridiron Show will become bigger and better, and we encourage you to get behind these organizations, the Gridiron Club, the Champions Club, as we help to push things forward and help the organization. And I see over here, someone, hey, let's start a training table fund. So,
And that's what Willie was talking about.
Right.
Willie was saying $25 a month.
Right.
We
got work to do also as a staff, and they work. Do. We got work as fans to do also. We can't just want a finished product and we not help with that product.
We got to do the things that we can do.
Right.
And help in the areas that we can help.
Right.
And all that stuff that we have no control over.
Right.
Leave it alone.
Leave it
alone.
Do what you have control over.
We're Wildcats, and we're going to be Wildcats until the day we die. So
right.
Nothing's going to change. You're not going to be able to change it.
Nothing at all.
So, and one thing I can say about Wildcats, we're always proud Wildcats.
Yeah, proud.
Always proud Wildcats.
Definitely so.
Yes, sir.
Definitely so. For Mr. Ralph Smith, Mr. CC Cruse in his continued absence. Nah, just kidding. I know he had some business to handle today. We miss you, CC, big guy. For Mr. Larry Wesley in his absence, we're thankful for you, fans, and we look for your continued support. Hail Wildcats, the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Club, and Gridiron Show and Gang signing off until next year. Happy holidays.
Be safe.
Congratulations, Mainland Bucks, on your state championship. Hail Wildcats, and let's go get them cats. Everyone, join in, roll up your sleeves, and let's go. Have a good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bethune-Cookman University alma mater.